What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast, coming to you live from the Uncle Steve Shake Studios in Center Bonstead, New Hampshire. Good evening, everybody. It is 8 o'clock on your Monday night, and where better to be than hanging out with me. Let's talk some Q. But today's episode, obviously, brought to you by Uncle Steve Shake. Uncle Steve Shake uses the freshest ingredients on all his 15 lines of flavors, from the original to the Gator to the competition line, CJ's West Coast Shake, Smoke Bomb, the sauce with no name. Incredible customer service. Uncle Steve is the one answering the call. So if you have any shake questions, please reach out and he can take care of any question you have. Follow the Facebook group, Uncle Steve's Shake Nation, for all the latest and greatest updates on everything shake. So Uncle Steve Shake some on everything. Well, I'm excited about tonight, folks. It's been a long time coming. Jobs got in the way. Time zones got in the way. All types of things. But I am thrilled to have a good friend of mine joining me, Mr. Joe Martinez from Smokin Joe's Pit BBQ. Joe, what's up, brother?
What's going on, Mags? How you doing, buddy?
I'm hanging in there, pal. Hanging in. You look great. Everything's good.
Yes, sir. You as well, man.
All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, Joe, let's see.
How's the weather up in New Hampshire?
Oh, man, it's gotten cold. It is, let's see, right now, it is currently a balmy 26 degrees.
Good Lord, that's cold.
And we're expecting 1 to 3 inches of snow tomorrow evening.
Wow.
And some ice and, oh, yeah, fun. I like to joke that we call that a Tuesday, but it's actually going to be a Tuesday.
Right.
So, yeah, it happens this time of year, so I can't stop it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's coming.
Let's see. Randy, what's up? Mike Wilford, what's going on? Chris Rosinski, Smokecraft, what's happening? Thank you all for tuning in. So, Joe, for anybody who might not know you, who is Joe Martinez? Family, wife, kids, dogs, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so my name is Joe Martinez. I'm the owner and operator of Smokin Joe's Pit BBQ on YouTube, and got a food truck that I started a little over a year now. And from El Paso, Texas, born and raised here. Spent some time in Phoenix when I went to school. As soon as I graduated high school, I went to Phoenix to go to school, and came back after 2 years and spent some time in San Antonio, about a year in San Antonio. Moved back and then went back to Phoenix. This is when I was working my corporate job now of 24 years, and moved back to El Paso in 2013 it was. I've been here since. Been married for 22 years now. 22 years. I got to look at my ring, and I'm not wearing it because I got the date stamped on that ring to remember the date. But it's 22 years. Got one spoiled little girl. Love her to death. And yeah, man, I'm just here living the barbecue dream.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So the barbecue dream, I love how you put that. So how did yours start?
So I know a lot of people think about Texas barbecue, so they think that that's all we do out here is barbecue, right? But El Paso has never been about barbecue. You go down to South Texas, as close to San Antonio, and San Antonio is probably 8 hours east of me. But out there, it's a different barbecue game than El Paso. El Paso, you know, when you talk about barbecue, it's a backyard steaks and sausage. You know, it was never brisket and the big meats that we do in barbecue traditionally in Texas. So growing up, I wasn't introduced into barbecue at all whatsoever. Our barbecue again consisted of steaks and sausage, and you know, a lot of traditional Mexican um, dishes, you know, carnitas and barbacoa and stuff like that. That's what we grew up on out here because
Mhm.
it's a lot more. We're so close to the Mexican border. I mean, we're literally where I live. I'm probably 15 minutes away from the border, but so there's a big influence of that here in El Paso. So, you know, I want to set the picture right for everybody. You know that El Paso is not like the rest of Texas. It's a little different and unique in its own way. So, you know, growing up, it was those backyard barbecues, and when I moved out of my mom's house or my parents' house, you know, obviously went to school and stuff. So I started playing around. Actually, when we bought our first house, that's when I really started playing around with barbecue. You know, I got me a Weber Smoky Mountain, and you know, started playing around with big meats. You know, the pork butts and the briskets and such ribs, and I competed at a fajita cook-off at a water park out here, and I ended up winning that contest, and that really, you know, I think it pumped up my head a little too much. So I said, "Hey, I must be pretty good at this." So, you know, I just started cooking, you know, for parties, and you know, friends come over and family comes over and says, "Man, this is really good barbecue. You know, you should do something with it." I never really took it that serious. You know, it was just a backyard barbecue like we all are. You
Mhm.
know, and you know, I just fell in love with it. You know, the art of it, and you know, in the Weber Smoky Mountain, I remember, you know, I used to do something that's a no now that I know barbecue a little bit better. I used to soak my wood chips just to get more more of that smoke flavor, but it was a very rancid, acidic kind of smoke, you know, that you get
Yeah.
obviously by soaking your wood chips. Um, so you know, you learn a few things along the way, and when we bought our second house is when I really, you know, I went and got me a cheap smoker from I think Lowe's. You know, it was a smoker on one side and a gas grill on the other side, and wasn't very big, but you know, it did its job. You had to buy the firebox separate, you know, to bolt it on,
Mhm.
and you know, again, I was already doing bigger meats and stuff, and so once I had that smoker, I was just doing more, you know, more of that for parties, and we had a lot of get-togethers at the house and stuff, and parties and stuff, and people really liked it. And you know, one thing led to the next, and you know, I didn't know anything about YouTube back then. Um, you know, I was introduced to YouTube later in life, obviously, and I started watching videos and on YouTube, and um, you know, I was watching James from Aimum and Claimum Smokers and uh T Roy Cooks. Those were the two channels, the only two channels I watched. Um, I didn't know anything about Barbecue Pit Masters, which was on at that time when I really started getting um, hot and heavy with barbecue. Barbecue Pit Masters was on TV, but I've never been one to watch TV, so I wouldn't have ever known that it was on anyway. I was always too busy doing stuff. You know, I was always outside of the house barbecuing or doing other stuff, and so I started watching a few channels, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do a video. And I did a video, and it's still up on YouTube. I want to take it down, but I go back and watch it just so I know where I came from.
Yep.
So you know, I recorded on a GoPro camera and in my kitchen, and there's an AC unit right above our kitchen. So every time it turned on, you could hear the vibration of the AC unit coming through the mic. Terrible audio, and I smoked a chub of bologna, and you know, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I mean, you know, it was a lot of my videos, Bags, now that I've done. It's a lot of the videos, it's the first time I've ever done something, you know,
Mhm.
and that was the first time I've ever smoked a bologna, chub of bologna, but it came out so good. And, you know, I started getting comments, hey, man, that's pretty good. And when's the next video going to come out? And people were asking for it, and I said, I'm going to do another video, and then I'm going to do another video. One thing turned into the next, and here we are now,
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, because that's how I originally met you, is through YouTube and all the guys, and yeah, I got to watching your videos, and loved them, loved everything you do. You really take the time to explain the process of what you're doing. Especially I just looking in the background, the your sausage videos. It's very, I'm doing this and this is why, and this is how I do it, and you just did a great job with that. Let's see here. I knew I don't know if I'm missing something, but our good friend Daddy Dutch is asking, Mr. Joe McGuire, please ask Joe how many votes he had to buy to tie Brother James in the rib throwdown. When did I miss a rib throwdown?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, I started watching James from Aimem and Claimem Drum Smokers, and so we became friends. And I think, like, Mags, I've never met you before personally, but I think I consider you a friend. And it's weird about this whole social media and virtual reality, or whatever you want to call it. Social media in general, when you talk to somebody and you watch somebody, you talk to somebody a lot in chats or Facebook, it's like we know each other and we're really friends. In fact, I know that there's been a lot of people that have met online through YouTube, in the barbecue community. And when you meet that person for the first time, it's like you've known them for so long that you're like friends, right? You feel comfortable.
100%.
Yeah. So James and I hit it off, and they were vacationing, and I think it was in their anniversary. This was a few years back. This was pre-COVID. They were they wanted to come to El Paso and spend some time out here. And I said, yeah, James, come spend the night at my house. You can, or stay at my house the weekend or whatever it was. He was here. And obviously I didn't have my food truck back then, so I was still working my corporate job. So the weekends I was free because I didn't work weekends. And, so we got to hang out. And one of the things that I wanted to do was throw down against James. I've seen a lot of videos of his where he went to T. Roy's house and he throws down with somebody, and he went to Justin's house, at Baby Back Maniac's house. And I remember Justin saying that his wife actually liked James's ribs more than he did, or that she did his. And I was like, man, if I ever meet James, I want to throw down with him. And back then when James and I did that, when he came over and spent a few days out here with us, I was doing competition barbecue back then. I had done probably 4 competitions. I had 4 competitions under my belt, and my ribs always did really well. In Lubbock, there was 60 teams. I was in charge of cooking ribs, and we got 11th place. And, which isn't bad. It's not the best, but it isn't bad. And I was always really proud of my ribs. So when James was here, I took the opportunity. I said, hey, James, you want to do a throwdown? Let's do a video. He was like, let's do it, man. He's like, I don't have my sauces. I said, James, I've got every rub you want. I mean, I got, just like you have hundreds of bottles behind you of rubs and stuff. I've got a bunch of rubs. I got injections. I've got glaze. I got everything you need to do this throwdown. So he goes, let's do it. So we did that, and I had a little party, I think, at the house. And neighbors were here, family was here, and we had a rib throwdown, and we had them vote. Hey, put your name in the hat of which rib you thought was better. And we counted the votes at the end of the night, and it was a dead tie, man. And I'll take that as a win, because James is a pretty, savage when he cooks ribs. So I'll take that. Tying James is like a win for me anyway.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. The boys are starting. Chef Johnny, what's up? Lewis, the trumpet master, what's going on? Let's see here. There we go. Gino Ortega. Here you go, Joe. Some nice words. Has been
Hey, Gino.
enjoying your videos, learned so much about smoking meat from you, and been so inspired by you. So thank you so much. Great
Yeah,
words.
yeah. Gino's been a fan for a very long time. Appreciate you.
Nice. Let's see. I know I saw my brother Efren. I saw Quentin Nelson, Duke Moreno. What's going on, boys? Thank you all for stopping by. And there's Simon. What's up, brother? But with the YouTube, you were doing great. You were, I think when I met you, maybe 30,000 subscribers going there and, always climbing. As of today, brother, you are sitting at 255,000 subscribers.
That's crazy, isn't it?
What goes through your mind of every time you hit upload, that potentially 250, over 250,000 people can watch your video?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I never thought I would get to that point. Getting at 100 subscribers when I first started seemed like it was impossible, and then you hit 100 and you want 500, and that takes forever, and then you want 1,000 and that takes forever. And everybody, when they start a YouTube channel, go through what I went through. You're every day you can count the number of new subscribers that you got. I was happy when I would get 5 new subscribers a day.
Yeah.
It was a big thing. And every day, it was funny. My daughter and I would ask my daughter, I said, baby, guess how many subscribers I have today? And she said, let me guess, 318. I said, yep. She goes, yay. Like, we would celebrate every single subscriber,
Yeah.
And, again, I never thought I would get to this point. I've definitely been blessed, and I didn't do it by myself. I mean, I'm doing it pretty much by myself now, but it's like when you learn to ride a bike, somebody's guiding you, somebody's probably pushing your bike a little bit, keeping your handlebar straight so you don't fall over. And I had a lot of people do that for me. I had again, James, Aim and Claim of Smokers. I had Chef Johnny gave me a shout out several times. I remember we were coming back from, where were we coming back from? I had my RV, so I believe we were out there in San Antonio, Medina Lake, I think it was. We had spent a week out there and gone to down to Corpus Christi and the Alamo, did the whole thing out there. And I was coming back, and Chef Johnny had gone live. This was when Chef Johnny was doing lives, and I hopped on. I was driving, and it drives my wife crazy that I'm on my phone driving, big old truck with a RV behind it, and she's like, get off your phone. So I'm not advocating that you do that or recommend that you get off the phone when you drive. So let me set that disclaimer out there. So Chef Johnny was on, and at that point, I don't remember how many subscribers I had, but it wasn't many. But I hopped on his live, and he gave me a shout out. And by the time I got home, I had 100 new subscribers, and that was huge to me. That was a big deal. 100 subscribers just like that from Chef Johnny giving me a shout out was a big deal. So, that's an example of how the barbecue community works. Cooking with Rye gave me several shout outs. T-Roy had mentioned my name a couple of times. Justin from Baby Back Maniac, so there's been a lot of people, and so that really helped my channel give me that boost. But the big boost, obviously comes when you have a video that hits. It's like playing the lotto. You're playing the same numbers all the time, and you're just hoping they hit. And when you have a video that goes viral, and you get a million views on that one video, your channel grows pretty quick. So
Yes.
Chef trying to say now I need the shout out.
Uh,
Hey,
yeah.
I'm going to return the favor, man. I am. But yeah, that's how it works, man. You just have a video that goes viral, and you know, you start getting a lot of subscribers. But again, I never imagined that I'd have this many subscribers, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Wild. But like you said, that one catches wind and catches fire, and next thing you know, it happened with Brother Alton,
Yeah.
with his brisket video. And he goes, I was sitting there on the weekend, and oh, we had 10 new subscribers. 2 hours later, there was 500 new subscribers. 8 hours later, there was 5,000 new subscribers. What the hell is going on here?
And it happens like that. It's crazy. You start getting notifications, you know, that so and so subscribed to your channel. I'm like, man, what's going on?
Yeah.
And you just see the numbers climbing and climbing and climbing. And again, I never imagined that I would do this, but you know, when CJ, Cooking with CJ and Kent were doing the hot seat, I remember it like it was yesterday. What's his name? JP Barbecue. He was on the hot seat, and I remember they asked him, one of their questions on that show was, you name a small channel you watch, name a big channel you watch, and name a channel you think should be bigger.
Yeah.
And he named off his, I don't even remember the channels he named, that the big channel and the small channel, but the one that he thought should be bigger was my channel. And I remember it clearly. He said, you know which channel I think should be bigger? Let me look. I've been watching this guy from El Paso, Smokin Joe's, that guy right there. That guy, I think, needs to be big. He does a good job on it. And I took that as a huge compliment, because I looked up to JP, and I still look up to him. You know, he's a great guy. He's you know, he sells rubs and does a lot of good things. And for him to give me a shout out like that, I was like, man. And he was a small channel just like I was. But for some reason, I felt like, you know, by him giving me that shout out, saying that, you know, my channel should be bigger, you know, that told me that I'm on the right track and I'm doing doing the right thing, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Brother Lep, what's going on? So with all your videos, you've done a lot, and we're cooking a lot on Yoders, and you've had numerous ones over the years. Do you still have those, or have you, got a new one, gotten rid of one to make room, and so you still on the Yoder train, because they make an incredible pit.
Yeah, you know, and this is good information for the younger YouTube channels, you know. So I partnered up with Yoder at a very, very early stage. I don't think I was at, I think I had just hit 1,000 subscribers. You know, the co-founder of Yoder Smokers reached out to me, and he says, hey, we like what you're doing. You know, we want to work with you. We want to partner up with you. And I said, yeah, man, for sure. You know, let's work. And, you know, Joe Phillips is his name. And he says, hey, I don't need a contract from you. You know, you seem like a down to earth guy, and, you know, just consider this a gentleman's handshake, you know, that we have an agreement. And yeah, so I already had a 640. I purchased that 640 myself. But it was a backyard pit, so it just had like a basic cart. So when that happened, I ended up getting a competition cart, you know, where it's that big orange cart. And then, you know, I ended up getting a Yoder Frontiersman. I went to Kansas to Yoder to pick that one up from Yoder Smokers. So that was my big offset from Yoder. That was a big one, and I recently sold that one. Okay. And it killed me to sell it, but that thing was huge. So the only reason I sold it was because I was getting a bison backyard pit, and it was a traditional offset, and I was like, I don't have, my backyard is just filled with smokers right now, and I need to get rid of some more. But I've gotten rid of my Blackstone flat top and little smokers that I don't use anymore. All my drum smokers are gone except for my pit barrel. So I got rid of the Yoder Frontiersman to make room for the Bison Red Dog that I have back there now. And that's the only reason I got rid of the Frontiersman. But that was my go-to pit. I mean, that thing cooked like a dream. So yeah, I still have everything else. I still have my Yoder flat top. I've got my Yoder YS 1500, my YS 640, and there might be a new Yoder coming my way right now. So
we'll have to wait and see.
Wait and see what's happening. Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Very yes. Hey, Rob, what's up, brother? Hell yeah, Kimball's Barbecue. What's up, brother? So you spent a lot of years at O'Reilly's Auto Parts.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a lot of business. Is it true? I haven't actually keyed in the part number, but is there a part number for the flux capacitor on the website?
There is. What's funny is that that started off as a joke, and it was an April Fool's joke, I believe it was. And we started off with clutch fluid, which there's no such thing. I mean, it is brake fluid, but clutch fluid, blinker fluid, muffler bearings, things that really don't exist. And so they put on the flux capacitor on there. And yeah, it doesn't exist in our inventory, but there is. You can actually go to the website right now and look it up. And you can't order it, but it's just there as a joke. So yeah, it was something beautiful. We did as a joke. Thought that was pretty cool.
So you had the many years there. So what made you make the jump to the barbecue trailer?
So, I think that a lot of backyard barbecue cooks would love to own a barbecue business. I think that's like the ultimate. And I'm not saying everybody, but I'm thinking quite a bit of people would love to do that as a job and make good money doing it, right? So for me, we live in a pretty close-knit neighborhood. There's 140 homes in this neighborhood. I'm the president of the association. So, we got to meet pretty much all of our neighbors. And there's a lot of neighbors that we met that we became really good friends with. Well, one of those neighbors retired from the military and when he was 50 years old. And so when he retired, this was probably 7 years ago, maybe, when he turned 50. I told myself, I'd love to retire when I'm 50. I would love, that's something that I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
I want to retire when I'm 50. And that way I have, I've got time to do what I want to do and have fun or do whatever, So I wanted to do that. And I that's something that was a goal that I wanted to do. And so I think the thing that pushed me was, during COVID, unfortunately I lost my mom during COVID, and I know a lot of us lost a lot of loved ones, family, friends, and stuff like that. And but that was probably the hardest thing I've ever dealt with. Losing a good friend is tough, but man, losing your mom, it is probably the toughest thing I have ever dealt with. And it really killed me, man. It was tough. And that kind of pushed me into the barbecue food truck thing. I always thought about doing it. And so I was already planning to retire when I was 50 anyway. And when my mom passed, that put my life into perspective, and I realized that life is short, and that, do what you love, you know, and so I started preparing myself, in 2 short years, I started to look seriously into food truck. During the pandemic, obviously everything is a lot more expensive. So I had my food truck built during the pandemic. So I paid more than what a food truck would normally cost. Um, so I prepared myself, financially. I had already given the longest notice known to mankind at my job and told them that, hey, I'm leaving on this day, before I turned 50. And they thought, yeah, we still got 2 years, but those 2 years came really quick.
Yeah.
And when it was time to leave, they were like, man, he's really gonna,
Yeah.
and yeah, so I was, I've been blessed again, but I had to prepare myself to jump into this. I didn't just quit my job and not have a plan and anything like
Mhm.
that. Financially, if any of the listeners are thinking about leaving their job to chase their dream, whether it's selling barbecue or selling shoes, it doesn't matter. You have to, prepare yourself financially. So things that I started to do were, we double pay on my mortgage, sending a double payment every month. Um, we paid off all of the, and we didn't have a whole lot of bills, but we owed money in our cars and stuff like that. So we
Yeah.
paid off all the cars, and just got rid of things that, like the RV. I ended up selling the RV because we weren't using that a whole lot, So, I used that money to, pay off my wife's car and pay off my car that I was using as a company car, and bought myself my dream truck, and just started working on paying off the house. And let me tell you, man, sending those double mortgage payments really drops the balance super quick.
Yeah.
So financially, I think that's the biggest thing, is if you're going to do something like that financially, you have to get ready. So, I was pretty smart about it. And, thank God that, the balance is so small on our mortgage right now that, I don't have that big monkey on my back. If things didn't go well in the food truck, I think we'd be okay. But, there's no plan B. So we got to make that food truck work.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. You got a couple other guys jump in. Manuel, what's up, brother? Judge Webb. Randy's back. Mr. Clarence Joseph, what's up, brother? And then I think if I saw it. Hey, where is he? Where is he? Kent. Leave it to Kent.
Yeah,
There's
there
the
it
pot
is.
number.
121G.
That's funny. That's funny. So you opened up about, like you said a little while ago, a little over a year now. Are you in, you have one spot like you set up, or are you in one of those, I guess you'd call it a food truck park,
Mhm.
if you will.
Yeah, so my food truck, it's a trailer. I keep calling it a food truck, but it's a food trailer, 8.5 by 20 feet. It's at a food truck park, and it's been parked there ever since I opened. The only time I moved it was recently because I had to renew my food permit, and we have to take it down to the health department, and they get a water sample and check all of your refrigerators and freezers, make sure everything's working, make sure the exhaust is working. And then you drive it back. It literally takes 15 minutes. I don't see why they can't go to the food truck park and do it there, but I had to move it. And that thing's heavy, Mags. That trailer is heavy.
Yeah.
So so I took it down there, got inspected, moved it back, and I hadn't moved it for over a year. We've had a few customers ask us if we can take our food truck, to their events and stuff. And in fact, we just did one last week we did a small catering for a credit union here in El Paso, and so they wanted the food truck, so I took it out, and we prepared their lunch there for them. But we don't move it. It stays at that food truck park. It's well lit. It's got power all the time, so I leave the AC running. It's gated in there. It's a pretty good little food truck park.
Nice, nice. Dutch had asked a question. We're jumping back to sausage real quick. Let's pop it up here. Oh, where'd it go? About non-fat milk powder.
Yeah, so I use that for a couple of things. It helps bind the sausage a little bit, but most importantly, it retains moisture. So what happens, I mean, you can do it without it, but I like the way the sausage comes out with it's a high temperature non-fat milk powder. So you throw in, my measurement is always 1.5% of the total weight of the meat in non-fat dry milk powder. And again, it helps bind the sausage together and it retains moisture. So when you're cooking a sausage, and the sausages that I make on my food truck, they're very plump. And the reason why you get a nice plumpy sausage like that is because the moisture stays inside the sausage. It doesn't like bleed out, or leak out, I should say. The fat doesn't like leach out or anything like that. The milk powder helps retain that moisture. So when we cut it on the cutting board, the moisture stays inside the sausage. You get little to no juice on the cutting board from the sausage itself. So you
nice.
end up with an overall better well-bound sausage, and again, it helps retain that moisture. It's a mess using it. It's like using baby powder. It gets, because it's super fine.
Yeah.
And it gets everywhere, but it works. And there's other binders that you can use like that too, but I choose to use the non-fat dry milk powder because it's pretty much tasteless.
Beautiful, beautiful. Gino has a great question for you. Any thoughts of a brick and mortar in the works?
Yeah, so that's something that I've been really working on. I had a location. I've had multiple locations that I looked at, spending a lot of time doing that, and I could have moved into a location, but in barbecue, the way that I prepare barbecue, I need my smokers and I need wood. So I need to make sure that when I have the right place, that it's got room for my smokers and I've got room to put my pallets of wood. I can't just move into any spot that doesn't have a location for it. So I had a location really close to my house, and I went and looked at it. It's a bar right now, bar and grill, but it's mainly a bar. Beautiful location. I sent in my letter of intent to lease it, and when we're getting really close to sign, they called me and said, "Hey, the building is not 2,400 square foot; it's 3,000 square foot. So it's going to be $3,000 more per month." And I said, "You're crazy! I'm not going to do that." Yeah. So that fell through, and that was going to be the perfect place because it had all the equipment already. It had refrigerators. It was already a bar. The owner was going to transfer the liquor license to me, and everything was going to go well. But I think things happen for a reason, and that may have not been the ideal location, even though I liked it and I thought we could make it work. It had a spot for my smokers and everything. So that fell through. So I went and looked at a place this morning, met with the fire marshal because they've got a fire lane around the entire building. And I was like, "Hey, I can't put my smokers there if you've got, the fire lane painted red or whatever." So they went and measured and said, "Well, you can put your smokers here. Number one, we'll just paint over that. And there's a fire lane across from it. So you only need a fire lane on one side. You don't need a fire lane on wow. two sides. So as long as we can get a truck in, 20 feet is the room that we need. You're going to be fine. We'll sign off on this." So now I just got to go look at the kitchen and make sure the kitchen's going to be something that I can work with. The restaurant I can work with. The dining room, the restrooms are cool. But I got to look at the kitchen, and because it's still operating as another business, I can't go in there and say, "Hey, can I look at your kitchen?" You know.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so we're getting really close, man. We're getting really close, and hopefully this is the spot. And if we can make it work, man, it's going to be nice.
Oh, that's awesome news. That's great. Because I've been following um the progress of the trailer with Greg Rempe when
Mhm.
you're on the quarterly on there. But with opening the trailer, obviously to start, you had everything planned out. You had the plan of attack, how to attack, all figured out, which is the way to do it. Now, hindsight being 2020, knowing what you know now, would you have done anything different when you opened up originally?
Um, yeah, there's a few things that I would do different. Number one, I didn't I didn't think I would need more refrigerators in the trailer. So I don't think I left enough room for that. I put in a fryer, which, I was selling smoked burgers and I'm still selling smoked burgers, and I wanted fries to go with those burgers. But the fryer, it's so hot, it's so messy. The oil is expensive that I pulled that out probably within the first 3 months. And in that space where I had the fryer, I could have made it so that I could fit a refrigerator. But it's stepped up, so it's got like a cabinet on the bottom of it, so I can't put a fridge because now it won't fit. So I would definitely get more refrigerator space. I've got a refrigerator in there. I've got my prep table that we use as a fridge as well. I got a freezer in there, but I need another refrigerator, especially for barbecue. um the other thing I would do is not make my menu so big. I've
Okay.
got a really big menu. um I got the standard, my main menu. You got meats by the pound. I have platters. I have my sides. I got a lot of sides. Um, I've got sandwiches. I've got multiple sandwiches. I've got two burgers now. The Oklahoma onion burgers on my menu, and so is the smoked burger. And a lot of people kept asking for that Oklahoma onion burger, so we added that to our menu. We added baked potato, a loaded potato to that. We added a Texas grilled cheese. We added, um, just a pork belly, pineapple glazed pork belly burnt ends that we added. So, but the bad part about having such a big menu is that people will fall in love with that certain side or certain meat, and if you take it out, they're going to be asking for it.
Yeah.
And recently I just pulled out my corn salad. It's we call it esquites, which is a Mexican corn salad.
Hmm.
So I pulled it out and we added grits to the menu. Well, what I should have done is just pulled out the corn salad and not added grits, but I added grits to it. So it's my own fault for creating this monster, I guess. But again, I think we should have done just a smaller menu because it's less work, less prep work. When we do a catering gig, I have a customer select, what they want to eat, and that's what we serve. And it's so much easier when all you're doing is a couple of meats and a couple of sides, you
Yeah.
know. But I got chicken, I got pork belly, I got ribs and brisket and turkey. It's a lot. It's a lot that we have to do to make it happen. So yeah, I mean the two things would again be have more space for refrigerator, and definitely don't have such a big menu.
Perfect. Perfect. Uncle Steve, what's up? Gabriel, what's happening, brother? Daddy Dutch. Joe, how many dishes do you cook to order, if at all?
Um, so a lot of the things that I mentioned earlier, a lot of the things that we've added to the menu are things that we've already got in the food truck. We just have to put it together. Um, So the Texas grilled cheese, for example, that's probably our number one sandwich. I mean, we sell more Texas grilled cheese than brisket sandwiches. Um, so that takes some time because we have a brioche Texas toast and we toast it on the griddle. We got to put cheese on it. So there's your grilled cheese. But what makes it the Texas grilled cheese is we add a quarter pound of chopped brisket in the middle of it, and that takes some time to make. The Oklahoma onion burger, we smash it fresh. We grind the meat fresh. We smash it fresh. We have to slice the onions fresh. So those are the things that we have to pretty much prepare, but everything else is made. The Texas tater, we already have the potato cooked and in the warmer. So when the customer orders that, we just have to assemble it. Put seasonings in there, put the butter and the beans and the chopped brisket and the cheese and the jalapeno on top and the sour cream. So we just have to assemble things pretty much, not necessarily dishes like from scratch. The only things that we have to, if you want to call it scratch, is again preparing the sandwiches, but a lot of the stuff is already made. The hard part, the brisket, is already made. And part of the reason why we added a lot of the menu items was to help get rid of the meats. Sometimes we'll have a little bit extra, we'll have half a brisket or a whole brisket left over, and I'm like, what can I do to add? What can I add to the menu to get rid of this? And I'll tell you one, and this was something that my chef Jen wanted to do. She said, Joe, why don't we, because we always had a little bit of mac and cheese and we always have brisket left over. She says, Joe, why don't we make a brisket mac and cheese? I'm like, well, yeah, let's do it. And we're selling out of mac and cheese and we're selling out of brisket now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
How popular that is. And, people see it, they see a customer walking out, we give them the brisket mac and cheese and we serve it in a 16-ounce cup. So we top it with brisket about 3/4 of the way. And then we top it with the brisket on the top with some pickled onions on top of the brisket. So when we hand that to the customer out of the serving window, a lot of the customers in line are like, "Is that?" Just get. I was like, "Oh, they got brisket mac and cheese." They're like, "Give me 2 of those."
Yeah.
And so, a lot of the reason why we create a lot of these dishes was to help get rid of meat so that we don't have that much left over.
Which is smart, because the last thing you want is a lot of expensive meat just hanging around.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can come up with something quick, just like that brisket mac and cheese, you're making your margins, if not going over the margins a little bit, and you're not wasting product.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a positive on both ends of it. And then there's Uncle Steve, always good. Next up, the Uncle Steve burger, just one big piece of meat.
Let's do it. Big old one pound burger.
Now, it looks like Dutch is looking for a dishwasher job if you got an opening.
That's probably the inglorious part of running a food truck, man. We have so many dishes. You have we have our mac and cheese, our Texas chili, our cowboy beans, and now our grits and food warmers. Well, the food warmers, on the edges where the cheese starts to dry out and the beans start to dry out, it's a task to get everything washed. And we serve everything in trays, in aluminum food trays. We line it with butcher paper and that's what we serve on. So we have to wash every single tray by hand, all the big pans. And as we're running out of, as we sell out of, a tray of ribs, for example, we have 3 trays of ribs in the warmer. When we run out of those ribs, well, we got to wash that big tray, that really large tray. And you got to stay on top of it, man. And all the utensils and stuff that we use in the food truck, man, that's a task in itself.
Oh, for sure. Gino's got another great question. After the brick and mortar, will you keep the food trailer in operation?
Yeah, so right out of the gate, we probably will not be using the food trailer as much. But once we get going and we get a little bit of air under our wings, I think that we'll definitely bring that trailer back to life and do pop-ups and stuff. And it gets much easier because now everything that we cook in that truck, whether it be our sides or baking our homemade chocolate chip cookies, giant chocolate chip cookies, or making our banana pudding, it's going to get a lot easier doing it in a brick and mortar and just loading up the food truck, because now we will not be cooking anything inside of that food truck. We'll just be serving out of that. We'll have the
Yeah.
griddle to toast the bread and stuff like that. Um, do the burgers and stuff still, but there's nothing that we'll be cooking in there. I mean, if you walk into my food truck, I've had chefs that come and visit that want to look on the inside of the truck, and they're like, man, look at all this equipment that you have. Look at all these pots and pans and utensils and spatulas and tongs and spices. He goes, you are more equipped than a lot of restaurant kitchens are. Because I'm I don't like, if we need something, I'll get it. I don't want to be without it because we need it. So we are just packed to the gills. It'll make it easier, obviously, once I have the brick and mortar. So yeah, I think that when we first open, I don't think I'll be using that trailer as much, but we will be using it eventually.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Hey, Marcel, what's happening? Thank you for tuning in. So I was talking with Brother James,
Mm-hmm.
and like you had said, you were watching his videos at the very beginning, and seeing what he's doing, learning from him.
Mm-hmm.
A little while ago, the roles reversed, so to speak, or a little, pay it forward or pay it backward, however we want to do it. But James is venturing out into his own trailer,
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking to you, and you're like, yo, come out to El Paso, come work with trailer a day or two, and see if this hands-on, if this is really kind of what you want to do. How is that experience, having him there, kind of showing him what to do? And I guess the feeling you got when he asked you that he thought so much of you. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
could you show me the ropes on what I'm trying to do?
Yeah. So, he did reach out to me, and this is probably the third time that James has been here. I love having him and Anna as guests here at our house. They're really laid back people. Just good to be around. They're good people, man. Love them both. So when he reached out and said, hey, you mind if I hang out with you for a few days just to kind of learn the ins and outs on what you're doing, and so you can answer any questions I have, related to how to run the food truck. He wanted to obviously venture off and open up a barbecue business of his own. I said, man, come down, dude. You're welcome. And so he came down, man, and he worked with us for a few days, and got to see the food truck park environment. The first night he got there, I believe, was a Friday night. So him and his wife, they had dinner there at my food truck, and they just got to sit around and enjoy the ambiance, if you will. And the next day, Saturday, was it Friday and Saturday? Yeah, it was a Friday, Saturday. So Saturday, he worked with us all day, and he was not necessarily manning the pit. He just looked at the operation, saw what we were doing with the pit, but everything that he really wanted to learn was on the inside of the food truck. Because I'm not going to show him how to barbecue. He knows how to barbecue. He wasn't there for my recipes. He wasn't there although he wants my barbecue sauce recipe, and I won't give it up. He really liked it, but he was a big help. Just as I was helping him, he helped me as well, because he was washing dishes, he was cutting the meat, he was serving the sides, he was talking to customers, he was just seeing the whole operation. point of sale system we're using, how to use it, how it's laid out. Um, what do we need in the food truck as far as pans and utensils and seasonings and the packaging? What are we putting our food in when we serve it, etc. He wanted to know all of that, and he did an amazing job. I mean, he fit right in. Um, he fit right into. I wish he lived in El Paso because I'd hired him in a heartbeat. Um, but he as I helped him, he helped out as well. He really helped us run the food truck and mingle with the customers more than anything. We like to taste all of our food before we serve it. So he was part of that. Hey, taste the beans, taste the mac and cheese, taste the brisket, taste the ribs, taste everything. And which he liked, so yeah, it was a good time, man. It was such a good feeling, like you said, paying it forward to somebody that has helped me. Now I'm helping him venture off into, chasing his dream of, and he's been wanting to do this for a long time. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Open up his own business. He's been wanting to do that for a very long time, but now he's got the opportunity to do that. So wish him the best.
No, that's wonderful. And that it always comes back to our barbecue family,
That's right.
Someone reaches out, someone needs something. There's always an open door, a helping hand, anything that anybody needs. There's always somebody who will always step up.
Oh yeah.
Which is a wonderful thing for sure. But yeah, brother, like I said, this was a long time coming. I wanted to finally get it rolling with you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, man.
You, obviously with watching your videos, you show your passion and your love for what you do, and following the story when you're on with Greg, you really truly sat down, thought it out, had a plan of attack, executed it, and everything's going up and you're moving forward in it. And my hat's off to you. Congratulations. Proud of you. Well deserved, brother.
Thank you, man. It's been a long, tough road. I got to tell you, I'm still working in the food truck, but it prior to hiring the chef that I have now, I was working some long hours, man. I'm talking 16-hour days. You come home and sleep a few hours, and then you're back at it.
Yeah.
This whole barbecue business is not for the faint of heart. You have got to be, you've got to be on your game to do this, man. So, but yeah, thank you for that. Again, it's I'm having fun with it, man. I'm still having fun, and I can't wait, for the next chapter for sure.
Oh my God, that's Jay Cooks. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Joe has no glasses on and is clean shaven. Is he going corporate on us or something?
Yeah, I was doing the whole no shave November, right? And what was it? Saturday, I said, I'm shaving it off. It's already growing back, man, but it's I always wanted as a young kid, I always wanted to grow a beard, and now that I can grow a beard, I don't want it. So
Yep.
it's like I just, I'm shaving, I'm like, what, screw it. I'm gonna shave my face.
Nice. Oh shoot. Any big plans for Thanksgiving? Couple days away.
Yeah, a couple days away. So we're not open this week. I asked my brother, which is, he's my right hand man when it comes to my food truck. He's the pit master aside from me and my chef. I asked him, hey, do you guys want to work? Friday and Saturday, or do you want the time off? And they were like, let's take the time off. Because again, we work our butts off, even though we're only open 2 days.
Yeah,
we work our butts off, and they work their butts off, and so we're taking it off. But we are cooking a bunch of turkeys on Thanksgiving. So Thursday morning, getting the food truck, and we're smoking right now. I believe we have close to 20 turkeys and some hams as well. So we'll be smoking up freshly smoked turkeys for a few customers, and then we'll come home and have our own Thanksgiving.
Beautiful, brother. Beautiful. Well, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to the family. Thank you for taking the time to join me and finally get you on, brother. Like I said, it's been so long. A message here and there, and all the work and that, but we finally got it done. I'm so happy about it. And like
Yeah.
I said, man, congratulations and best of luck moving forward with the trailer. Where can everybody find you social media wise just to keep up with everything you got going on?
Yeah, social media, it's Smoking Joe's Pit Barbecue on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I've got several different pages on Facebook, but Smoking Joe's Pit Barbecue joined on Facebook. Also, Smoking Joe's Pit Barbecue on Facebook. And if you want to be friends on Facebook, Joe Martinez, you can search for that, and we can be friends there as well.
And Lance jumps in. Will Bad Elf make another appearance this year?
Definitely. You just go live, and I think he might just be knocking on the backstage door.
Him and Squirrel,
Yeah,
they kind
Squirrel.
of fight for airtime.
That's, it's funny when we did that, Mags. When I finally showed my face, everybody was like, "Holy cow, that was Joe!" Because I turn into a
Oh,
character. I turn into a
yeah.
character that nobody can figure out who it is, and there'll still be people in the chat, that won't know who it is until I turn on the camera.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun.
Heck, I think one night you were Marilyn Monroe for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I was singing "Happy Birthday" to somebody.
Oh, good times, brother. Good times.
Oh
But
yeah.
Joe, man, thank you so much. I
Thank you,
appreciate it,
buddy.
man.
Thank you so
All
much,
right.
Mags. It was
No
good.
worries,
Good times,
brother.
man.
Thanks, brother. Guys, that was Joe Martinez, Smoking Joe's Pit Barbecue. Such a great dude. Like I said, known him about 5 years now, going forward, and great videos, great teachings. So please go check if you haven't already. Subscribe, hit his YouTube channel, and if you're in the El Paso area, definitely swing by the food truck and taste some of that passion coming out of those windows, baby. But thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. It's getting hectic at work. Today was really day one of my next 5 weeks of the old Christmas rush. So I think this will be, for the time being, I'm going to have to record the episodes. So I think I'm going to be recording on Sunday and schedule them to come out on Mondays. Got a couple fun episodes I got planned. Just narrowing down a couple of the guys to get it done. But as far as the live feed, probably won't be back to live till, what is it? The Monday after. Shit, I think that is Christmas, as a matter of fact. Hang on. Yeah, that ain't happening. Unless y'all want to get together on Christmas night. Shoot, didn't was more concerned about the regular Mondays up to Christmas than actually on Christmas. But then January 1st, New Year's is a little easier. But yeah, just keep an eye out. I'll put some notifications. I'm off that week of Christmas into New Year's. So maybe we'll choose a little earlier time to just get one on and catch up with everybody. When there's my boy right there. Oh, Ben. When is the Die Hard is a Christmas movie episode? Funny you say that, because that is actually one of the guys I'm going to be talking to. Two friends of mine both have Christmas themed podcasts. Todd Killian out of Missouri. He has the Christmas Clatter podcast. Then my friend Ken Smith out of Tennessee has the North Pole News Dispatch podcast. Both are great. Like I said, Christmas themed. Ken does his actually all year round, about once a month. Then Todd goes what they refer to as the Burr months. So once September hits, they they get going. But I'm looking to have both of them on for a little holiday discussions. Have some fun with it. So Ben, good call. The Die Hard is a Christmas movie episode will be coming up, probably on a Sunday. But Ben, thank you for everything you're doing. If you're not busy right now, do that voodoo you do so well in a minute when I end this. You can get right on to it. And then, because I got some videos I have to watch you sent me. But folks, there are going to be some recorded episodes coming up just because I won't be able to get here on time. Heck, I don't think I walked in till almost 7:30 tonight to get this one done, and we're just going to be getting crazier and crazier. But thank you all for tuning in. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you all and your families. Enjoy those birds, especially those pies. And yeah, I'll be in touch with everybody, let you know who's coming on, and it's all going to be broadcasted at 8:00 still, but just there won't be a live feed for the chat and such. But happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Thanks for tuning in, and until next week, keep the smoke rolling.